abusing however many other kids he did after that.
Do you think that there are others out there?
I do think there are others out there, but I also don't expect them to just come out now that we're coming out. It's such a difficult thing to do, to come out. You have to do it when you're ready.
We can't change what happened.
Long and like, share, subscribe to my channel, J.Matthew TV. So as we go into this episode real fast, Oprah has come out with this documentary called After Never. Has come out with this documentary called After Neverland. I guess it's supposed to be something about the accusers or the victims allegedly of Michael Jackson, who he allegedly molested or whatever. Okay? So if you look at this interview as I play it, you tell me what you think. I think this shit sounds scripted. I want to know why the fuck they coming out now. It seems that, they're trying to bring all this shit out and really again now after Michael Jackson is deceased. It seems like they're really trying to paint a picture on black men and keep that image in people's head of these men, because when it comes to Harvey Weinstein, Oprah says all this shit about she believes the victims of Michael Jackson, but when Michael Jackson was living, Oprah was kissing Michael Jackson's ass. Okay? And now all of a sudden that he's deceased, now all of a sudden she got a documentary, she agrees with the victims, and but Harvey Weinstein ass, who got charged, got a fucking smack on the wrist for the shit he did. He got caught on fucking tape. She got pictures and, kissing that nigga on the cheek. Oh, God. Just listen to this shit right here. We gonna get into it. Real fast, real quick, but we gonna get into this shit, all right?
Happened to us. It happened. It's done. But what can we do with it?
Isn't necessarily a big fan. And then
from the beginning, this shit sounds like a script.
On CBS News, two men who say Michael Jackson.
Look at their eye contact with each other, all that shit.
About their experiences. Wade Robson and James Safechuck are featured in an explosive new documentary premiering on this weekend on HBO. Both men also sued the Jackson estate, but their lawsuits were dismissed because of the statute of limitations.
They are appealing. Jackson always denied any inappropriate behavior with children. Robson and Safechuck detail their relationship with Jackson in an
explosive new documentary premiering on this weekend on HBO. Both men also sued the Jackson estate, but their lawsuits were dismissed because of the statute of limitations.
They are appealing.
So in other words, why the fuck you wait so damn long to try to sue someone who you say, molested you and everything like that? You wait till after that person died and then you try to go file and claim and say all this shit now? You're in the movie and everything like that? Like, come on. Some shit just don't make no sense. It don't add up.
They are appealing, rather. Jackson always denied any inappropriate behavior with children. Robson and Safechuck detail their relationship with Jackson in an interview with CBS This Morning co-host Gayle King. A warning to viewers, some of you may find these details disturbing.
Before you all met Michael Jackson, what did he mean to you?
My wife, Gayle.
The making of Thriller. Just instantly became obsessed.
I
wanted to be just like, and I dressed like him every day, and did my hair and had my hair permed to look like him, and all that stuff.
I wasn't necessarily a big fan. And then when I got the commercial,
Mr. Jackson,
they did
Pepsi commercial.
Yeah, the Pepsi commercial. When You See Me Meet Him is actually my first time seeing him. At that point I was pretty excited. It was otherworldly, I guess.
James Safechuck and Wade Robson discuss the intimate details of their relationships with claims 7 years of sexual abuse with the world-famous performer first began.
This was just
this shit crazy. Listen to this
magical thing I'd ever seen. And that first night, Michael kind of took us on a little bit of a tour, and he said to me and my sister, "You can stay in one of the guest rooms, or you can stay in here with me if you want." And my reaction was, of course, I want to stay with you. We had one more night that way. Myself and my family were going to leave and go on another kind of vacation to the Grand Canyon. I was next week.
And your parents allowed that?
My parents allowed that. Within either the first or second night of Michael and I being alone at Neverland, the night started changing. One of the ways I remember it starting is, Michael just sort of starting to touch my legs and oral sex
How long
on him.
has Michael
Did
been
it scare you?
dead now?
Did you think it was wrong?
A couple days prior to the abuse starting, he started touching me, just in the sense of like panned on my leg, lots of hugs, kissing my forehead, rubbing my hand. So there had been this kind of development of physical closeness that was happening already that felt like a father. It just felt amazing. As Michael started doing these sexual acts, he started talking to me about God brought us together. We love each other, and this is how we
love each other.
We love each other, and this is how we show each other our love.
James, you're nodding in agreement to what he's saying. Tell me what happened to you.
He introduced me to masturbation. He said I taught him how to French kiss. And then it moves on to oral.
I mean, how cynical and crazy do you have to really try to like make this man sound like you're gonna wait until he died, wait until he dead, and then years later after he's dead, I mean, you just gonna put the foot in the ground. They got Bill Cosby. Who else now? They got R. Kelly. They ready to put him in that motherfucker. It's just fucking crazy. And you know what? They switched the whole narrative, people, the powers that be, because remember how black people was getting killed by cops left and right and shit? You don't even hear about that no more. Now it's all this child molestation. Come on now, Michael Jackson's been going for how long now? And they bring this shit back up.
Facts.
You trying to sue now?
Or thinking this is weird or wrong?
No, it's in the
and
context
you sued back then,
and
I think that your case got dismissed.
No alarm bells going off in your head or any thoughts like that. Really, it's just I love this person and we're trying to make each other happy. He said I was his first, but even as a kid,
come on, man, yeah, right.
Like
that's bullshit.
Lovers and your best friends.
What does that mean, James? You're in a relationship and you're lovers. You're a little boy,
right?
And he's a 30-something man, and you're a little boy.
That's bullshit.
Because at that age, how do you even know what that means?
Exactly.
You just feel really connected to someone, and you just love them intensely.
The public in general thinks it's violent, that it's very painful, but what you're describing is totally the opposite of that.
I mean, he didn't beat me. He didn't, he never said mean things to me. It was all, we love each other.
In spite of what they're claiming today, in 1993, both Robson and Safechuck denied being molested by Jackson when allegations were brought by another boy, Jordan Chandler. That case settled out of court. You all both tell a very descriptive story about sexual activity with Michael Jackson.
When you were asked to testify
in 2005. And Wade, you did. You got on the stand and you testified in his behalf and vehemently denied that any sexual activity had taken place.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
The training, Michael's training of me to testify began the first night that he started abusing me. He started telling me that if anybody else ever finds out, we'll both go to jail. Both of our lives will be over.
The 2005 criminal trial of Michael Jackson centered on molestation charges brought by a child cancer survivor named Gavin Arvizo. Court testimony shows that from the stand, Wade Robson denied ever kissing, showering, or even cuddling with Jackson. They credit your testimony in part for Michael's acquittal. You were called really a star witness. You withstood a blistering cross-examination, and he was acquitted. On some level, do you feel guilty about that now? Do you think about that?
Yeah, I do think about that. I have, and I do. I wish that I was ready. I wish that I could have helped Gavin Arvizo receive some justice and some validation for what happened to him. That was just like what happened to me and just like what happened to James. And I wish that I could have played a role in, at that point, stopping Michael from abusing however many other kids he did after that.
Do you think that there are others out there?
I do think there are others out there. But I also don't expect them to just come out now that we're coming out. It's such a...
In other words, you're trying to set the narrative like, but we're the only two though. We're the only three that you know about. Ain't gonna be nobody else. Ain't gonna be like Bill Cosby and R. Kelly, where there's multiple women. Like you heard R. Kelly in my last video say it was like 50 women. With Bill Cosby, it said it was like 50, damn near 100 women. Like, this shit is fucking nuts. Now you sit here telling me that Michael Jackson just going around raping little boys. Get the fuck out of here, man. Fuck out of here.
Difficult thing to do to come
so
out.
Scripted.
You have to do
Look
it
at
when
their
you're
face.
ready.
We can't change what happened to us. It happened. It's done. But what can we do with it now? How can we provide comfort for other survivors?
And you
that's
have
what this is
18
about.
years
Michael
to
just
think about
happens
this.
to be the guy.
Why right now?
This child sexual abuse story.
Well, CBS This Morning co-host Gail King joins us now on the set. Gail, their story is heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking and disturbing. I watched
really
both parts back to back over a month ago, actually, and then watched it again right before the interview because I started taking notes. And I woke up really just haunted and very disturbed by what I had seen. I think it's important to emphasize that the Jackson family believes these two are admitted liars, that they're opportunists, that they're trying to exploit Michael Jackson in death and exploit the legacy. But what they have to, the story they tell is very, very chilling.
You know, in your piece, you point out that they had been given an opportunity to talk about this before, and they denied that there was any abuse at all. Why are we talking about it now?
So what's going on?
I think that they said you have to come to it in your own time. And they weren't ready to talk about it then. And also, Anne-Marie,
they ain't got no money.
For a long time, they didn't even think of it as abuse. Because Michael, they say, had trained them so well to think, we love each other. This is how people show love. And it's always, we will get in trouble. This is our special thing. So when you're a little kid, you feel that you're complicit in that.
They're going
so
to
for many years, they didn't know that it was abuse. It's only when they became adults, actually really started having their own children. And the biggest reason why they didn't tell is because they wanted to protect him. This is somebody that you're in love with, who you care about. And so they lied to their parents, they lied on the stand, and so for them they thought, if we didn't lie, it's going to hurt him and ultimately hurt us.
Hold on, Gail.
So when you listen to the story the way that...
What the hell were those kids taught at home that they would think when they get with an adult is doing those things to them or even saying those things to them, that it would be okay, that they would never say no and all this other shit. You'll never hear not one of them say, we told him no and he fought us. No shit like that. Like, come the fuck on, celebrity or not, you're not going, as a little kid, you gonna know. If Barney say, "Then can I grab your butt?" and then you knew as a kid, Barney go near your private party, you're supposed to kick Barney in the fucking nuts and stick his fucking tail up his ass and run and fucking run and tell your mama. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden, like, come on, it don't make no sense.
They tell it. You can see why with a little child's brain, even though they're grown, Wade was 22, he was 11 the first time and 22 the second time, you're now a grown-up, you still have deep feelings for him.
The second time it happened, you were a grown-ass man.
This is a special relationship that they're having with Michael.
They're the only ones.
And they're the only ones. But then, later on, there were other people who come forward with accusations, and so they're hearing that other people may have been in an alleged special relationship. Did that have an impact on them? I mean, how did they react when they learned that?
Well, I mean, I don't think they've had any reaction to that because the only people who have come forward publicly were Jordan Chandler, and that case was settled. And the Grant Avizio, where they had the trial in 2005. You haven't heard the names really. There's been speculation, but there hasn't been anyone else who has actually come forward and said, this is what happened to me. It's going to be very interesting after this doc airs on Sunday and Monday on HBO to see what kind of reaction they get from it. But they're also afraid. Listen, they know that people don't believe them. They know that they are going to get a lot of hate because the Jackson fans and the Jackson family are very strong. And they are prepared for that. They just feel at this point in time, it was time to tell their story.
Why do they feel at this point in time is the right time to tell their story? And what is it about this documentary that's different? Because we've reported on the sexual abuse allegations of Michael Jackson.
Practice drills to get dressed in case somebody came. That's
a level of detail.
Yeah, but when you say what makes it different is that it's so detailed, and some of the sexual acts are so explicit that a couple of times I said, "Let me just turn it off for a second." It was literally stomach
Listen to this.
We told you yesterday that Oprah Winfrey will interview the two men accusing Michael Jackson of sexual abuse right after the documentary Leaving Neverland finishes airing on HBO Monday night. Well, they taped the special last night, and Oprah explained why she's doing this.
In 25 years of the Oprah Show, I taped 217 episodes on sexual abuse. I tried to get the message across to people that sexual abuse was not just abuse, it was also sexual seduction. But for me, this moment transcends Michael Jackson. It is much bigger than any one person. This is a moment in time that allows us to see this societal corruption. It's like a scourge on humanity. And it's happening right now. It's happening in families. We know it's happening in churches and in schools and sports teams everywhere. So if it gets you, our audience, to see how it happens, then some good would have come of it.
Mm-hmm. So apparently, too, the audience was filled with sexual abuse survivors, at least in part.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, I was thinking you talked about this a little bit the other day. That I mean, it definitely seems like you're saying that Michael Jackson is guilty, even to have sexual abuse victims in the audience. And obviously, what Oprah is doing with this, she's completely siding with the accusers. Mm-hmm. And I still don't know where I fall in this.
Yeah.
And if we make this just about Harvey Weinstein, then we will have lost this moment.
Oprah Winfrey opened up for the first time publicly about the past 2 weeks' worth of sexual harassment and assault claims against Harvey Weinstein during her Wednesday appearance on CBS this morning. Winfrey starred in the Weinstein Company film Lee Daniels, The Butler. When asked about the movie mogul, Winfrey said, "I'm always trying to look for the rainbow in the cloud, whatever is the silver lining. And this is what I do know for sure. Something that's major happens when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment." Winfrey believes the Weinstein scandal has triggered the suffering women have endured and kept hidden for an extensive amount of time. What I do believe is actually happening is that, first of all, it's triggering a lot of unreleased pain, repressed anger, guilt, and suffering that a lot of women have had, Winfrey explained. "If we make this just about Harvey Weinstein, then we will have lost this moment," Winfrey said. She added, "I think this is a moment where no matter what business you work in, the women who not only had the disease to please, that's part of it, but who felt that in order to keep my job, to keep my position, in order to keep moving forward, I've got to smile, I've got to look the other way, I've got to pretend he didn't say that, he didn't touch me."
I think those days are about to be over.
Having publicly addressed her story of sexual abuse before, Winfrey believes the more women speak out, the less fear they'll have over breaking their silence. A lot of women have been silenced, and I know, being a victim of child sexual abuse, that when you feel like you cannot be heard and then other people start speaking out, it makes you feel like, oh, now I can speak out too. Winfrey originally addressed the Weinstein scandal in a statement posted on her Facebook page, which read, "Filmmaker James Schamus captured so much of what I've been feeling when he said, 'This is the story of one predator and his many victims, but it is also a story about an overwhelming systemic enabling, and until that story is fully told, we will fall far short of stopping future depredations on a similar scale. Thanks to the brave voices we've heard this week, many more will now be emboldened to come forward every time this happens. I believe a shift is coming.'" To watch the full clip of Oprah Winfrey talking about Harvey Weinstein on CBS this morning, head to thr.com, and don't forget, subscribe right here to THR.
Let me tell you right now, all that's bullshit. She trying to sweep it under the rug and everything like that, but you're willing to go up there and talk about Michael Jackson and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? But make sure you don't get like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. You know, what do you think about these victims coming out all late and shit about this whole situation with Michael Jackson? You know, that's been done over with for a while now. Alright? Don't again, like, share, subscribe to my channel. J.Matthew TV.